I am one of the co-founders and chief operating officer for the Stafford Boxing Club Incorporated, our nonprofit organization, which is a yearly mentoring program for at-risk youth in the community.
So we will be able to teach financial literacy, communication, discipline, decision making, as well as campaigning for a premium education.
These are the foundation for the Stafford Boxing Club, these 20 mentees in our program here at Panola Way Elementary School. 20 years from now, Stafford Boxing mentees will be known across the world.
Hello, and welcome to the Stafford Show. You have reached your destination through the portal of Talkin. Excuse me? You want to know who is the host and co-host of the Stafford Show?
Who?
Lady Stafford, aka Big Staff, aka Big Staff. I'm funny. I have a sense of humor.
Sense of humor.
Hello and welcome. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, man, what's happening, man? What's going on? We got a lot to get into, man, for real. It was a lot of entertainment this weekend in the sport of boxing.
For real.
Yes, Lord.
Man. Let me just do this little stretch real quick because we're going to be talking about some good things. So I got to loosen up. All right, we can get it going now. All right, everyone. I'm loose. So what I want to start off talking about is female fighters / women boxers / women athletes. I'm not going to talk about everything, but I do want to talk about the lack of opportunity, which then goes the other half, which goes with the weight division. Okay, so the first thing is I need everybody to breathe in through their nose and out through your mouth. I need everybody, especially the men, to actually listen and hear what it is that we are going to be saying, regardless of the fact if you think that women should box or they shouldn't box, or you don't like women boxing, or it doesn't even matter what industry it is. It's just going to be all wrapped together. But seriously, put your ego aside. Have some empathy, and whatever narcissistic thing that you have going on, let's just cancel that out right now. So the first thing that I want to say is, you know about the Spence and the Crawford fight this weekend. My opinion, it would have been great to have a female undercard.
For real.
Now, it could have been the first undercard fight.
No.
Me personally, because I'm just thinking like that, depending on who it was or who it would be, I would have had the fight before the main card.
No, I would have had it the first.
No, fight. I said the first, but me, the main card, depending on who it is. Like if it was like Clarissa, and depending on who she's fighting, yes. Alicia, yes. Amanda Serrano, yes. I'm not going to go on and on and on through all there's a couple of other ones that I would have had. So yes, I would have had them the fight before. Now, someone like, and this is no disrespect, like Dubois, I haven't heard from her or the other Lauren. Now, no disrespect, but I would have had those two probably for the first fight, only because, unfortunately, which also goes to the women not having a lot of media, but because we're talking about A fighters.
Yes.
We're talking about the fighters that are going to actually bring in the money, that are known throughout the world.
Yes.
Because they have put in that work.
Yeah.
So that was very disappointing. And one of the other things that I want to say is, okay, so we know in media, for the sport of boxing and media period, we know who is over it. It's white men that's in charge. Then, of course, we have the promoters and we have the boxing organizations. My thing is, there have been so many women in the boxing industry and out of the boxing industry that have put in a lot of work, a lot of time, whether if they were already born and living here in the United States or fleeing from another country, maybe someplace like Cuba, and then they're coming here with either a child or their children, married or not married, and coming here to America, or it doesn't matter, wherever. And when we know centuries ago, decades ago, it was extremely hard and much harder, especially for the women, because men still have that thinking. The woman should be at home. The woman should be taking care of the home. The woman should be having children and cooking and cleaning and making sure the house is taken care of. Now, yes, us as women, we do that. Some of us do that. I think that we should do that, even if the man is working, I think we should, and we're a stay at home mother, then yes, we will bear that responsibilities. And yes, sometimes we are going to need some help. So the husband he'll still work, do some other things, and will help the wife out. My thing is that all the women before that's allowing the women now to do what they're able to do, they left a legacy. And the men, you all are reaping the benefits of that legacy. And
Can you explain
how they're reaping the benefits? Okay, well, number one, even though we know it takes two people to make a baby, the final decision does lie with the mother, right? So, regardless if you believe it or not, we're not going to get into that. Either she could decide to have the baby or she can decide to keep the baby. Now, remember, when a woman is pregnant, she's pregnant for 10 months. 5 weeks equal a month when you're pregnant. It is not 9 months. And the reason why I'm saying that you're reaping the benefits of her legacy is because number one, you have that name. Number two, that is your mother. Number three, no matter what it is that she did, like if there's a park that's named after her, that's benefiting you because of the type of person she was, the hard work that she put in, the difficulties that she overcame, some of the sexual harassment that she may have to accept or take, because during that time it was much harder for a woman to get hired or find a job. So in her mind, it was like, I have to just take it. I have to accept it because this is bigger than me. I have a family. I have kids. We all have to eat. So I just have to deal with it. So, and also because you have the name and because the name is going to be carried on and everybody's going to know that name, then you can use your name that will help you to be able to get through certain doors. Now, I know my husband said that your character and your integrity and favor can take you to places where even if you do have an education, it could take you a lot further. I get it, but also the name that your mother has left that's going to go from generation to generation to generation. That means she has already opened up and started that legacy. So no matter, even if you decide to be a CEO of a company or open your own business, the name in itself is going to be remembered. And the other thing that I want to say is with the weight division, even though the men have 17 and the women have 10, I was always wondering, why aren't we seeing more fights more often with the female fighters or with certain female fighters? And that's really one of the main causes. And I don't understand how this thinking is. There's always some type of excuse. So really what you're saying, because we have different body parts than men, then you're using that against us. And that shouldn't be it, because however you started, someone took a chance on you. Somebody gave you an opportunity. You could have been struggling, working real hard, just graduated from college or high school or whatever journey you decided to go through. And all you needed was an opportunity. And you worked hard day and night, unless for those that is just born into a family that just has money. I'm not saying that in that case that you still didn't have to work, or maybe you didn't have to work. It's really who you know. But at the end of the day, if someone gave you an opportunity, why aren't you allowing women to have that opportunity? And the crazy thing about all of this, seriously, is when you don't allow women in certain positions, or even when it comes to the pay. I've said this before, you all are taking money out of the family's mouth. I mean, here you are, you're living life, you're doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, making all these type of decisions. But when you have these women that are sparring with men that have put their life on the line for something that they're passionate about and something that they want to do, whether it's their calling or whatever it is, and they're showing and they're doing everything possible, staying later, coming in early, learning more, putting in more work, putting in extra work, studying. And then, of course, they have their personal life. Some have children, some don't. Some may be married, some may not be married. And then they're balancing everything. But women are always showing and trying to prove to the world, to the bosses, to themselves, that we are capable to handle a lot of situations, and we would not ask you if we would not be able to do it, if we could not do it. So with all the money that's going to the WBO for the belts, and the WBC, WBA, IBF, and all of this research that's being done, I think that you should go back to the drawing board, because there's other women, there's other men, there's female boxers, there's women who want to be female boxers, or whatever industry it may be. Go back to the drawing board and talk to these women and really be open. And one of the important things that we all must have is empathy. You have to put your feet in somebody else's shoes. For some people, it's going to be hard because life is just so right for you. But you have to understand, life is not always right for everybody else. And you can't put everybody in the same category. Not everybody's lazy. Not everybody's this way. It's everybody is something and doing something, whether it's right or if it's wrong. And it's 2023. And for us to still be talking about the pay, let me tell you something. I don't know how much Clarissa's getting paid. I don't, or how much money she has. But in my opinion, she should be making Floyd Mayweather's money by now. That's just my opinion, because she has surpassed so many men. All the awards she's getting, all the belts that she's doing, all the fights that she's won, and where the fights have been. And you mean to tell me this is not happening? So my thing is, how can one group of people, which is men, because we know historically that it's just been dominated by men. And then the promoters, shout out to Eddie Hearn, at least Eddie Hearn has been working with some female fighters. But I don't understand, if you all can have a male fighter, right? And you all put all your work and your time and given them everything that you've learned when you were a boxer, then I don't understand why you can't do the same thing for another woman.
But let me say this here. Let me go back from the original statement that you made in terms of there should have been a female card on that. I mean, there should have been a female fight on that card.
Undercard, yeah.
Yeah, on that undercard. And that would have been huge. That would have been a sign of progress for women in the sport of boxing if they could have had a fight on that undercard with a major event. You had Isak Cruz and his fight. Then you had two other fighters or whatever. And I'm not saying that those fighters were not deserving, but if we are talking about progress, if we are talking about diversity, inclusion, there should have been a woman fight on that undercard. It would have been. I was looking forward to it, and like my wife said, some of the big names in the sport of boxing as it relates to females should have had an opportunity. Clarissa Shields, she deserved an opportunity to be on that undercard. What's the other young lady who um, she got she you know she
You talking about Shadesha Green?
no, not her. Under what's that girl? Alicia what?
Baumgartner?
Yeah, her. Those two would have been a good matchup. But just not having a woman fight on that undercard, it was kind of disappointing because Clarissa Shields, she sold out the arena up in Detroit,
Yeah,
Michigan.
at the end of the day,
And
she's always going to sell out.
And she's selling out.
And Alicia, she's going to sell out too.
So just think about, even though
And
the
Amanda.
headliner was Spence and Crawford, but just to add Clarissa Shield and what's the other young lady name?
Alicia, but also Amanda though.
Or Amanda or what's the other ones? The Katie.
Katie Taylor.
It don't matter.
Or Cameron.
It don't matter. There should have been a female fight on that undercard, and I stand with you, Sheila. I'm in totally agreement with you 100% that there should have been a female fight on that undercard because it was a great platform and it was an opportunity to introduce women into the sport of boxing even more, to show that these organizations is making progress to support women in boxing, because believe it or not, women in the sport of boxing is here to stay, and it's only going to get bigger and better. And I think the time is now, in this era that we live in, to demonstrate support for female boxers, right? The other thing is that when you talk about pay, Sheila, I'm with you on that one. Like, you have made some great statements on the show today, and I think that there needs to be dialogue, there needs to be discussion about these topics that address our communities. And I give mad respect for those women who sacrifice. I mean, they're training just like they're men. They put in that work. They sparring. They doing road work. They in the gym. So if women are here to stay, then there should be some marketing dollars to address the women in the sport of boxing. And just as much as Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford was promoted, I get that, man. They deserve it. Both of them fighters, all the fighters on that undercard, deserved an opportunity to be on that, but you should at least have one female fight. And moving forward, anytime that we have these mega pay-per-view fights, there needs to be at least one woman fight on that undercard. I agree with that.
And I agree with you. And I think with me, an issue that I'm having is that you all are making decisions that's not based off of what's right. Go off of what you, well,
not well. It is tradition, because traditionally men have been the head of the boxing organization,
and that's fine. Okay, I get that.
No,
that's fine.
No. I was about to say this. So Stephen A. Smith done a remarkable job this past weekend promoting the fight and giving his preference on who he would think that will win the fight. But here's my point that I'm going to. So Stephen A. said that if Dana White,
I believe that,
was the president or overseer of the boxing industry, the fans will get the fights that they want, and there will be more diversity inclusion as it relates to women, because Dana White, he promotes women in the UFC. There are a lot of UFC fighters. There are a lot of UFC fighters on TV, on national TV, prime time, promoting these women. And these women are getting better. They are putting on the show. People are paying. And the other thing is this. We have talked about this before.
What?
In the UK, women boxing is popular. So this would have been a golden opportunity for a female boxer to be on that card, man. So the next fight, primetime fight that we may have, I don't know who it may be, but there needs to be one of these female fighters, 2 female fighters on this undercard, for real.
Oh, and just one other thing before I forget, before we move on. The other thing is for those the men that make these decisions, whether if you're a promoter or media or wherever manager, you are whatever, in the organization, when it comes to females. Okay, think of this. Now, when I was talking about decades ago and centuries ago, regardless if you knew your aunt, your great aunt, your great grandmother, and so forth, and everything that they had to go through and they had to fight, right? Maybe you also had to endure some of those painful times where you barely could eat, but you saw your mama, she was, she was a trooper, a strong woman holding the family together. But let's come to now. Your mother or your sister or even your cousin or your auntie, how would you feel if they really showed themselves and proved themselves, not only to themselves, which is important first, their heart and their inside, and giving them the strength when they don't have it, because sometimes they don't have that support system when they need it, or they just don't have it at all. And they don't get the opportunity, and they're being treated the same way that women still are being treated. Now, don't get me wrong, we've come a long way and we appreciate it. We are not complaining, not one bit. In the boxing industry and other industries, women are moving up, but women leadership in the working industry, their percentage is still very low. But let's go back to the boxing. How would you feel? How would you feel if you saw a family member, your mother or your sister, just putting in so much work and everything that I just said, because I don't want to repeat myself again, but because men and their egos, and because they don't think, or because this is how they think and they don't want to change their way of thinking, which reminds me of them being a hymn, by the way. For those that read that book, then you'll probably know what I'm talking about. How would you feel? How would you feel? And it's still hard out here in the world. How would you feel if they were down to their last?
I feel
and
tight.
They wouldn't get their opportunity. So, and then there's children. So can you be that cold-hearted to where there's so much money out here, and then you have the money, and you do have the money to where there can be more media plays for the female boxers, and they can definitely get paid just as much as the men get paid, and having more opportunities, being open with that. And I'm almost finished. And if you do have a female on your team, on your promotion company, don't sit her or sit them aside. Work with them and get them out there. And I promise you, they are not going to disappoint you. There may be a loss or two, but that just comes with the game. Sometimes boxers, they're not always going to win. Some may always win. Clarissa Shields, a prime example. She's always been winning. But some you may not. You might have a loss or two, but just don't give up on them. Just give women an opportunity. I think if you give us more of an opportunity, then you will know that you definitely have made the right decisions. And I would like to thank all the men or whoever, you all just finally just listen, but come to the table with some of those boxers.
So basically, you're saying giving women an opportunity, you'll get a huge ROI, return on your investment.
Yeah.
Opportunity. That's what we see. That's what a woman see. As a black man, my goal and most of my energy is towards getting the opportunity. I know that once I get that opportunity, I am going to capitalize on it. I'm going to prepare for it. I'm going to be ready because I know that an opportunity can take you from the pit to the mansion. Amen.
Because I did.
For sure. So now, boy, let's get to it. This weekend, we witnessed something that was unexpected.
No, well, actually, it wasn't unexpected. Not for me.
Now, wait a minute, Sheila. I said that I was going for Crawford, but I said that, man, I really don't want to choose because of the simple fact I like both
of them.
I like both of them, right? But when I had to just, I don't really like to be in that position because I like Earl, though. I really do. I like Earl. I like Buddy. I mean, Buddy, he fine, right? But, man, let me tell you, man, that boy Crawford, bruh, he's a bad man. He is a bad man. This is all I kept seeing from Crawford. He was doing all this, you know what I'm saying? He was just boom, boom. I'm talking about just blocking all them shots, man.
He had great defense.
I mean, bro, listen. Terrence Crawford is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. Hands down. Don't talk about that Asian boy. No disrespect. We don't want to hear. He ain't put no work in, bro. This man got 30 fights, bro. 30. Oh, is it 30? I think it was 29.
I think it was 20. Yeah, I think
it's made 30. I think it's made 30. This boy got 30 fights undefeated. You can't take nothing away from that boy, man. And the thing that I really admire about this fight was the way that these guys promoted the fight. And for all the supporters of Earl Crawford Earl, I'm talking about Earl Crawford. Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford, man, like Terrence Crawford said, man, y'all need to chill, bro. Because, man, these white folks be looking at this situation, be like, man, I don't know if we're going to do that, man, because every time they come out, man, it's a whole bunch of violence. And then as a promoter, bro, you know, they got to rent out that venue. It's a lot of responsibility. Man, it's a lot of bread involved. They got to have insurance. Bonds, man. It's so much, man. And it's okay to support your fighter, to believe in them. But doing all that extra, man, it's unnecessary. And the crazy part about it, it was their support team or their fans, whether it was relatives or not, who was doing all that old capping and all that other buffale, man. It was crazy, man.
What was it? The ex-wife fighting?
Man, it was crazy. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. And the maturity level of Terrence Crawford, how he was like, hey, man, y'all just chill, man. Chill, man.
They were talking about with the shooting, right?
Yeah, man. It was just crazy, man. And then here's the other thing. Errol Spence told Terrence Crawford, man, thanks for making this fight happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, just the gratitude for the opportunity, like we just talked about, the opportunity. Like Errol Spence knew that this opportunity was going to put him in a position to feed his family and everyone else even more, right? So, man, when I saw, it was like, I think it was in the second round, and when Terrence Crawford just pushed him off him, like he just like, Bud just say, man, get off me, man. When he did that to Errol Spence, I knew it was over with, because Earl is mostly the aggressive. Like he's always, you know, he's pushing folks. But when Terrence did that, man, I was like, man, it's over with, man. It kind of reminded me of the fight between Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. Evander did Mike Tyson like that. Mike went back, boom. You feel me? So I was like, man, once Terrence Crawford did that, man, I was like, man, this is crazy, man. And, you know, the other thing is this. This is two fighters that was in peak condition. That's the other thing that I had liked about this fight, Sheila. They was in peak condition. Like most of the times you get these fighters, man, and they get on this platform and they gassed out. Earl, even though he took a beating, he still had stamina. You know, it was just Crawford. Crawford was just, I mean, that boy there, man. He was just, man, that boy was.
Someone had said something before we read that or answer it or whatnot. I wanted to say this before I forget.
He is, bro. Terrence Crawford really is.
What's their name?
His name is Drake.
Drake.
Yeah. He really, hey, man, Terrence Crawford is the king of boxing. Ringside Magazine, top rank. Yeah. Man, get that man his cards, man. Yeah. And it was a reason why he was talking the way he was talking when he was at top rank, because he felt like Bob Arum was holding him down, man. And now he didn't got loose from that man, bro. He showed the world. And I'm telling you, man, this boy here was, man, hold up, man. This boy here, I'm talking about, man, just the art of just the art of boxing, man. I mean, you saw it on display, man. I'm talking about, he was like, you feel what I'm saying? He was just doing, man, I'm talking about, boy, listen, man, that dude there is, and then, baby, he's orthodox.
Yeah, but he switch it up to southpaw.
So 78% of his fights that he's fought southpaw. But he's orthodox. You see what I'm saying? So, man, this man here fighting orthodox, and like that right jab, back, man, he caught him, back. He fell down, man. And I ain't gonna lie, man. Shout out to Earl Spence, man. Yeah. I mean, bro, like,
keep your head up.
Keep your head up, bro.
I saw it. I saw it on him. But let me say something before I forget, though. And it also reminded me of your situation. But the first thing I want to say is, when Crawford was talking about the shooting, a lot of people were saying, oh, he's going to lose because he's being too emotional with the shooting thing. Well, I learned something that I did not even know, that he was shot in the back of the head after counting his money
on a dice game, 7-11.
And then they said that he started boxing because
he was scared.
So if you put both of those things together, so anybody who's been shot or had a gun pulled out on them or has been shot out, I have too, has been shot at
3 times.
You're going to feel some type of way when you reach that peak of maturity, and then you're here for the press conference or the weigh-in, and you're supposed to be talking about the fight, and the trainers are supposed to be talking about the fight or whatever questions they're answering. And then you're talking about shooting. And like you said, that really leaves a bad taste in other people who's watching it. Because it's always like, okay, black people.
Every time they come together.
Okay, it's one thing.
Them black folks can't behave.
It's one thing that y'all are talking crap. You'll probably curse and you're going to say what you're going to do and go back and forth. But then to bring up guns, that's very unacceptable. And that should not
be ghetto, bruh.
That should not be done.
That's ghetto.
Period. But especially in this type of
on that platform. When this was like the fight of the decade. This was a major fight, bro. This fight was like up there with Floyd and Pacquiao. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just the magnitude. So you had the world watching this. You understand? And so just like Terrence Crawford, he understood
the assignment.
Yeah, he understood the opportunity that he had. And then, man, what was so player about the situation is when Earl reached over and said, "Hey, man, thank you for making this fight happen." I'm like, man, come on, bro.
And then they
that's
ended up
player,
each
man.
Other, but
I'm talking about that's 2 players, man.
But the one thing that reminded me of you was when Terrence was talking, and he was just pretty much saying like everybody just counted him out. Yeah. And would always either talk bad about him.
Man, baby, you ain't had to go there, but
so that reminded, even with me, but more so with you, but with both of us, but more so.
But God did.
But more so with you.
God told me.
So it was like an emotional tug on my string, or
baby, that's
when he said that, because it was like I get it. Like everybody, certain
Man, they
people
count.
count
Hey,
you
man,
out.
listen, man.
And then
they counted your boy Stafford out, man. I'm talking about, man. Listen, when I tell you, listen, man, that's okay because it's gonna be in my book, and when it's all said and done. But I didn't stop believing in what God told me.
I mean, that's more important.
That's the difference between me and most people. I didn't give up, and I didn't stop believing in what God said in spite of the situation. It didn't matter. I'm willing to die for this, man. For my belief, man, I'm willing to die for it. But baby, peep this out. But let me say this here, man. Derrick James, you deserve some accountability for this man losing, bruh, because you did not give this man the proper information that he needed to take in order to make the adjustment. Now, Coach Esau, Terrence Crawford, trainer, I heard him. He said, listen, off the combo, now on the counter, he said you can get him the hook off that counter now. And Terrence Crawford hit him with the hook. Bam! Bam!
He
listened, man.
He listened.
Listen, man. This man deserved to be trainer of the year. So it is blasphemy that Derrick James got trainer of the year and all the records in terms of Terrence Crawford record being undefeated, undisputed in 2 weight divisions, and the man never got trainer of the year. Man, that's Captain Crunch, bro.
They talked about him.
Man, that's Captain, and they talked about him. They talked about his weight. But I said, baby, you remember when we saw the little Showtime thing, and I was like, baby, check this out. Them boy, that even though that man may not be out there in terms of like running with Terrence, but he had that mind, that vision. And the boy put an amazing team around Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, he had 2 strength and conditioning.
One was a female,
one was a male.
And then he had the dietitian, the white lady, which was a female.
And then he had a chef.
He had a chef. I mean, his team.
And he said it was a team.
It was a team.
He was humble, and he said it's not me. He said it's a
team. Hey, man, we want to
thing.
sponsor one of you next fighters fight with one of the pair of boxing gloves from Stafford Boxing. But these boxing gloves are called spiritual gloves. Lord have mercy. Spiritual gloves. You feel these spiritual gloves. But yeah, so there needs to Coach Esau, Coach Terrence Crawford, trainer, he needs to get an award for trainer of the year because he prepared his fighter. He was prepared mentally, physically, and emotionally. He was there. He was prepared. That dude was there. I'm talking about he was there. And so now in the post fight, I watched it and I studied it, right? And I was listening, not only with my ears, but also with my spiritual ears, right? And I understand in the moment of defeat, you have, some things to say. But personally, Earl Spence, respectfully, I don't think that it would be a difference at 154. Personally, I just don't. I just think that styles make fights, and your style, you so used to.
Yeah, they said he was predictable.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that it'll be now. You can work at it, but you at the elite level of boxing, and for you to change your style, it's going to be very difficult, and it's going to take a lot of time. But I don't think like we should see a rematch of the fight. That's just my opinion because it's going to be the same thing. Because that boy, Terrence Crawford, mama, that go that man. Mama, that go that man. When I say, man, that go that man, boy.
Are they saying that Enos and Crawford are supposed to have a mandatory fight?
Enos? Boots.
Are they?
Nah, but I don't know.
I don't think Enos, no disrespect. He's great.
He's good, but he ain't ready.
I don't think he's ready for Crawford.
He ready. And then Crawford came out, even his gear where he had the fishnet on. I was like, oh man, this boy came out. And the boy came out with Eminem.
And like, Eminem does not.
I ain't never seen Eminem come out for nobody. But that's the thing that I like about Crawford, bro. He is marketable.
Because he had asked on.
He's marketable on
Instagram,
social media.
On
yeah,
Instagram.
he is marketable, and what I mean by marketable, he's very low key.
He's polite.
He's very respectful. Manners. That boy from Omaha, Nebraska. You feel me? So being from Nebraska, bro, it's a different type of culture up there. Matter of fact, that's where Warren Buffett is from, Omaha. So those white folks up there, bro, they different. You know what I'm saying? They about family. Now, don't get me wrong. It's some G's up there, but for the most part, it is a level of respect, character, and presentation. And you seen that in Terrence Crawford in his press conference, how he carried himself outside of the boxing ring and inside of the boxing ring. And he was just very graceful. And so going back to this post, so Earl Spence said, man, I ain't have a rhythm, and, I knew I was trying to get into a rhythm. Okay, my bad. My wife smacked me because I said a filler. So we trying to stop saying fillers. So Earl Crawford, I'm tripping, Earl Crawford. Earl Spence, my bad, bro, no disrespect. He said that he wasn't in a rhythm. The reason why you wasn't in a rhythm, my boy, was because Terrence Crawford was doing everything to get you out of rhythm. Even the shoulders, like he was lining you up and he was taking away that jab. You feel what I'm saying? That you have made a name for, that jab. Like you set up a lot of your punches with that jab, right? But Crawford, he knew that and he took that away. And Crawford was able to make the adjustment.
And he started off differently too.
I'm talking about, man,
so he changed.
Say, listen.
I think with him,
man,
he's one of those that can just change, because that's
he's
where
up there with the greats.
He's
up there with the greats, Sheila. I'm talking about Terrence Crawford is up there with Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robertson, Roberto Duran. He's up. Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearn. What's my man with the what's his name? George Foreman. He man, listen. He's up there with Jack Dempsey. Man, he's up. Man, he's in that category, bro. Because he made history being undisputed in 2 weight divisions. There's never been done in the sport of boxing.
And he gave Spence those belts back too.
And then, because they gonna send him his personal belts, right? But after the fight, he took the belt, and that's the classy thing about Crawford, man. He gave the boy his belts back, even though he's not the champ. But at the same time, you want to have those belts in your home as memorabilia of what you accomplished. Man, he gave that man. That's a player, man. I respect that dude, bro. And that's the type of an example that you young fighters need to be taking game from, bro. From both of them, bro. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, Earl Spence told him, man, thank you, bro, for making the fight happen, man. You feel what I'm saying? He had an attitude of gratitude, bro. You feel me? And and you fighters think that cursing one another and talking about somebody's mama or wife or kids, or even like the boy Caleb slapped the dude, man. Come on, bro.
My wife's name
out your mouth. But this fight was marketed based on these guys' performance. It wasn't that rhetoric. It wasn't. It was strictly about this. You see these? That's what the skills, your skills and your record should be able to promote. Now, baby, you know what? Shakur Stevenson has not been tested. And you know what would be a great fight? Shakur Stevenson's and Boots Ennis.
Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be because that'll
so Shakur, so like Showbiz, Showbiz the adult, you gave Shakur Stevenson the name Sugar. You said that Shakur Stevenson reached out to Sugar Ray Leonard, and Sugar Ray Leonard co-signed Shakur Stevenson, putting Shakur Stevenson. No disrespect, but Shakur ain't been tested, bro. He has not been tested. To me, he's been fighting can of tomatoes, bro. Straight up, bro. That's no cappuccino, bro. Now, Shakur, you say that you are a great fighter. You need to be tested. I don't think you'll be tested with Devin Haney. That's just my humble opinion. That's no disrespect. But you will be tested with Boots Ennis, bro. Yes, Lord. He will be tested. You say that you are Sugar Shakur Stevenson. Well, won't you go up against Boots Ennis? That'll be a fight.
Because Devin Haney's, I believe, is fighting somebody else. But what is someone saying something?
Man, Cedric, sports trainer. Good afternoon.
Hey, Cedric.
What's up, Ced?
On, Cedric?
Yes, Lord.
What did he say?
He said, "What's up? Good afternoon from Canada."
Hey. I used to watch them all the time. That's the Cedric and Mike.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah, but listen, man, going back. So, Derrick James, hey, man, we need it. Hey, there needs to be some accountability, man.
I can't see.
Yes.
Pound for pound, yes.
Yes. Pound for pound, number one, Terrence Bud Crawford is that guy. Don't talk about that boy bad no more.
Yeah.
You feel me? The boy been boxing since the age of 7 years old. You feel me? And he's considering, if I was him, man, hey, bro, you done got plenty of money. And now you have an opportunity to do endorsement deal. Matter of fact, he had Prime, Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah. I thought so because I had seen the drink.
Yeah.
I had seen the drink too.
So, man, you can make more money promoting different products now. Now that you made history in the sport of boxing, you make more money. Matter of fact, you can do like Floyd, do expedition.
Expedition.
Yeah, whatever.
Expedition
so yeah,
fights.
Listen.
He might not want to. He might still want to go. Expedition.
Not expedition.
Yeah.
It's
expedition.
Isn't it
an expedition fight?
It's a young super. Yeah, for real. And I'm telling you, man, Boots Ennis and Shakur Stevenson, it's hard for you to give you sugar, bro. You got to, man.
You got to earn.
Yeah,
that
man.
Sugar.
Bro. You got to earn that sugar, bro. You ain't earned no sugar yet, bro. You Shakur Stevenson.
We can't give you a tablespoon of sugar yet.
No, we cannot. We cannot give you a table. Boy, you fool. Hey, say, bro, we can't give you a tablespoon of sugar yet, bro. You ain't been tested, bro. Now, if you get in a ring with Boots Ennis and you beat him, then we give you some sugar. Matter of fact, we give you organic sugar. Yeah, for real. No cappuccino. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to call you Sugar Shakur Stevenson, but it's hard for me to call you Sugar Shakur Stevenson, bro, and you ain't really fought nobody. And Devin Haney is not it, bro. Devin Haney is not it. Respectfully. And well, what about what's his name? Javante Davis. Nah. I want to see you fight Boots Ennis, Shakur Stevenson. That's the one I want to see. I pay for that, and I think the public will come and support that fight, bro. But I want to say this again. I want to say thank you so much for shedding light on the diversity issues that female boxers face in the boxing industry. We need to have more discussions about this so that we can give these women their just due. They earn the opportunity to be on some of the big time undercards. We have a lot of great up and coming female fighters, female like Clarissa Shield, and what's the other girl now? I keep forgetting her. Alicia, like now.
She said that she wanted to fight. She was calling out Katie, Amanda, and I believe Cameron.
So the other thing is this. I know that the boxing industry has been run a certain way since its beginning. The mafia used to run it, but then R.I.P. to Customato, he was able to fight that, and it went to Congress and so forth and so forth. But now there needs to be some change, and there needs to be a level of leadership where it brings about diversity inclusion. And I am a big fan of Dana White. Say what you want to say about the man, but that man gives the people the fight that they want to see. And so often we would get a fight in the boxing industry that's 2, 3, 4 years late. We want it now. The fans deserve it. The boxing industry needs to think about change. In life, change is inevitable. So we have to embrace change. And in change is uncomfortable because there has been a level of, people being comfortable. You know what I'm saying? But complacency. But like what's my man name? Jim Collins, who is the author who wrote the book Good to Great. Shout out to Jim Collins. Matter of fact, I bought a book, then I sent him my information. He was impressed. So he sent me an autograph copy from Good to Great to put in my library. But anyway, good is the death of great. So in order for the boxing industry to compete at the level of the UFC, there needs to be some change. And I think like having a board will be great for the boxing industry. Having a commissioner, someone who can regulate and it's voted in by a body and group that say, hey, we want this person to oversee the box. It will be better for the boxing industry.
I think some boxers, female boxers,
Well,
and
definitely,
female reporters or whatnot need to be a part of that. But with you saying that too, like as far as with the judges, because there have been some fights where the judges were, you were very questionable.
On your scorecard,
yes,
bro.
On your scorecard.
Come on, bro.
So my thing is, in my opinion, I think that the judges need to have some type of education now. They need to go through some type of training education, but more so, I believe that they need to be held.
Dre, I don't know about that, Dre. I don't know about that.
What happened?
Dre said that boxing is on top now. I don't, because of one fight. No, it's gonna have to be.
It'll have to be some. It's gonna have to be more fights like that.
Yeah.
And even the ones that are just coming up, because we get it from the Olympics to the amateur. We know that they're really not going to be that much known.
Man, but look at these spiritual gloves.
But you can build that reputation up. And there was something that you said too. You said that Prime sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's another thing for the female fighters, because I was always wondering when I see their posts on a social media platform, some fighters, female fighters, are actually asking for a business to promote them. That should not be their responsibility. That should be the promotional company's responsibility. That's number one. Number two, because we're talking about change. So if technology changes, then everything is going to change. But the other thing I was going to say is, if you do sponsor a female or whatever, pay them, because apparently you all are not paying them as much as you are paying the men. So once again, as a business, you are putting your name and your brand on a fighter. If you did not believe in that female fighter, you would not put your name out like that. So you need to pay them. I can't believe like we're literally still having this conversation.
Baby, listen, but having these conversations is healthy though.
No, I mean I get it,
and so
but
you're gonna like always
have a decision being. I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, it's I guess what I'm not understanding, because I'm not a man, number one, but how can you not? I'm just saying, like, how can you not? This is not dinosaur
Baby, listen. Check this out.
way of doing
You know
things.
what it just popped in my spirit.
Okay,
You know what you're doing?
What?
You're being a trailblazer, bro. Whether
Well,
you know it
I
or
don't-
not. And
Well, there's been
I know.
ladies like Melissa. She's been doing it
Everybody,
for a long time.
listen. Everybody has their own path of being a trailblazer, right? You not having a background in boxing, coming into the boxing industry, talking about the issues, speaking up on behalf of women and voting, and excuse me, and not I'm saying voting, but promoting equality. That's trailblazer, bro. Because most women who are in the boxing industry, most of them on a high level, had some type of either amateur or professional background experience. You didn't. God gave us this vision and we ran with it. And look how the vision has turned into. So we got our own boxing gloves, we got merch galore, we got shoes on the way, you feel me? And you making a credible case. What you are stating on the airways on the podcast show, people got to respect it. Even you got comments from our supporters. You got Cedric, you got Dre, you got But listen, Dre, that's only one fight though, bruh. UFC making buku lots of money, bruh.
It's like every time
I'm telling you,
around
bro.
it, they're
Bro,
already
they on ESPN regularly, bro.
or the weigh-in.
I'm telling you, bro, the UFC do way more promoting than boxing, bro. Now in the UK it's different, but in the US we need a Dana White in the boxing industry, and that's just my opinion.
And and people being held accountable for the BS
because
they may carry out.
Because, hey,
who's that?
That's Eddie.
What's up, Eddie?
Man, Eddie, boy, Eddie, don't you ever try to god dog on me, bully me, boy. You know who I am. You know who I am, my boy. Hey, man, listen. I want to give a shout out to Eddie because he is a remarkable father, bro. This man here take care of them girls. They be so clean. They be neat. Hell be done. Very respectable, man. His son on point, man. Eddie, man, it's all love, bro, for real. But anyway, baby, before we close out, baby, can you take these off?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thought I needed to stand up for a minute. Sheesh.
Stop with the cap.
My gosh. But before we leave and my husband says what he's going to say, I just want to shout out to all of the women out there.
Who putting in work.
Yeah, that's putting in work. Don't give up.
What's her name? Lady Tiger.
Lady Tiger.
What's her name? Man.
Lady Tiger. That's what she
what's her name?
Lady Tiger.
No, her name not Lady Tiger. What you doing?
But you completely interrupted me when I was talking, so now I got a brain freeze.
All right, babe.
Every time you do that, when you interrupt me, just like when I interrupt you and you're like talking and then you say, oh man, I totally forgot. But anyway, shout out to all the
Marion
women.
Tremere. That's
Yes.
her name. My bad.
Thank you. Shout out to all the women out there. Keep your head up. Do what you do. Let's make some changes. Let's support each other. Look within your heart. If you need to make some changes, make some changes. And if anybody gives you constructive criticism, just take a deep breath and sit by yourself and just think about it. It's going to be all good.
Hey, man. Great show today, man. You did good. For real. Keep up the good work. And we got new wristband, spiritual gloves. We on the way. Hey, Stafford Boxing. The
making of champions.
Bam!